box, right? Like we talked about the other day. Here, they used a division symbol. And on the last one, they just used a line, okay?
That looks like fractions.
It looks like a fraction, but really fractions are a form of division. So you're right, that is what that looks like. All right,
Okay.
so we have 4 goes into 12. We have 12 divided by 4, and we have 12 over 4, okay? Those are the 3 ways to say that. So everyone say with me, 4 goes into 12.
4 goes into 12.
4 goes into 12.
12
goes into 12 3 times.
4 goes into
12 goes into 4.
Okay, leave your mic off. Just say it out loud, okay? So there we go. Leave mics off. Okay, and then 12 divided by 4.
12 divided by 4.
12 divided by 4.
12 divided by 4.
All right, now we're gonna move on. Each one of those would get you the same answer, right? They're just written 3 different ways. Here we go. There are 3 numbers involved. I'm gonna try to get my video screen on here. Okay, there are 3 numbers involved. The number being divided, which is the 15 in this case, and the number by which it is being divided, which would be the 3, and then the answer to the division problem. Okay, I would like you to write that down nicely in your notebook. I'm going to give you time to do that. Okay, so take your time, write that really nice and neat, and make sure the one that you're focusing on, like where it's bold, you either write it darker or underline it. Okay, so you really remember what you're talking about. So you would put maybe like this in your book so you remember which number you're focusing on. Okay, the number being divided, the number by which it is divided, and the answer to the division. Okay, you have 3 numbers that are involved in your division problem. Doesn't matter which way you choose to write your division problem, there's still going to be 3 numbers. Okay, now, as you're finishing, you have the number that is being divided is called the dividend. Okay, so I'm going to write that word off to the side, and I would like you to add that to your notes. Okay, so you remember what it's called.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, dividend. Then you have the divisor. And lastly, you have the quotient, which is the answer.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so if I showed you,
I'm
I'm gonna move it a little bit. It's still there in case you're still writing. But if I showed you the kind of equation that looks like this, which one of these words would go on top? Which one would go on top? Haziel?
the one that's gonna be in top is the 5.
What's that word?
The divisor.
No, the divisor's up here. That's the 3.
Oh, is dividend.
No, dividend is the big number. So what is the word that goes up on top? Maria?
The quotient.
Good. Okay, you can add this to your notes so you remember. The quotient goes up on top. What word is going to go down here inside our division box? Emilio?
Dividend.
The dividend. Good. So then, Matthias, what number goes on the outside of the box?
Divisor.
Good. Awesome. Good job. Okay, so you should have that all down in your notes for today. Everyone put up your hands if you are done. Your electronic hands so I can see real quick who's done. Good job. Okay, Sebastian Braun, Maria, Andreas, Matthias, Haziel, Fabian, Emilio, Mateo, Yuna, Guillermo, Brian, Sebastian Rada. All right, Bruna. If you're not done, keep working. Alex, are you done?
Also like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, looks like most people are done. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. If you need this, I'm gonna record it and I'll add it to our math videos on YouTube if you need to go back and look at it later, okay? All
We're
right,
on YouTube?
yes.
Hey there, YouTube.
All right.
Salúdame.
Okay, positions, this is what you just wrote, okay? So you can add these 2 bottom ones to your notes. Dividend divided by divisor equals quotient, and dividend over divisor equals quotient. You can add those 2. Andreas,
Okay.
did you add that?
Finish.
Good job.
Done.
I'm done.
Okay,
Done.
good job. All right, here we go. Example
Miss-
1. We need to use...
5 people are done.
Okay, well, they can figure it out because they're pretty smart. Use words to show how each division problem is read. Okay, so raise your hand if you know how to say words to say how letter A is read, how we say it out loud. Raise your hand if you know how to read that out loud. Alex.
12 divided by 6.
Good, 12 divided by 6. What about B? Does anyone know how to read B out loud? Let's see, I see, Mateo.
Oh, miss, I wasn't raising my hand. That was for
Okay.
the last problem.
Haziel.
I think.
I wasn't raising my hand, sorry.
Okay, Sebastian Rada.
Sorry, I wasn't raising my hand.
Okay, everyone put your electronic hands down, and then if you know, raise it back up again. Fabian.
I think it's like 12 over 6.
Okay.
Equal quotient, that's
You would actually read it just the same. You could say 12 over 6, but that makes it sound like a fraction, so we would still say 12 divided by 6.
Knew it.
You don't need to write anything down for this example 1. You just need to know how we read it. Everybody's mics need to be off, please. Okay. Everybody's mics. Okay. 12 divided by 6 was the answer for the first one, and 12 divided by 6 is the answer for the second one. What about C? How would we say this one? Maria?
The same thing, 12 divided by 6.
Very
12.
good. 12 divided by 6. So no matter which way you see it, you still say 12 divided by 6. There's other ways to say it. Like you could say 6 goes into 12 how many times? You could ask a question like that. But normally we still just say 12 divided by 6, no matter which way you write the problem. Mateo, do you have a question?
Miss, do we have to like write that down?
Nope. I just said that. You don't have to write anything down. Example 2. You do need to write this one. Write 15 divided by 3 all 3 ways. Okay, so it has one way here, and then you write it the 2 other ways. 15 divided by 3 should show me all 3 ways to write that problem. One needs to include your division box, and one needs to include a line. Okay.
Done.
Done.
Yeah, should not take very long. Okay. Which goes
Dunsies.
here on top, you
Done.
know?
I know.
You know, what number goes up here on top?
It would go the answer. That would
It
be
would go the answer. Okay, do you know what the answer would be?
5.
5. Good. What number would go out here on the side, Fabry?
Yes.
What number would go out here on this side?
3.
3. Good. Guillermo, what number would go inside the division box?
The 15.
Good. All right. Now, let's see. JJ, what number would go on top of this line?
15.
15. Good. And Alex, what number would go on the bottom of the line?
3.
3. All right. Good job. We got it. All 3 ways. Okay. Here's 15 divided by 5. Go ahead and find the answer. 15 divided by 5. Yuna.
It equals 3. Miss, do we need to write it?
Yep, just write it real quick.
Is it example 3?
Example, I think it just is continuing.
It's example 3. I saw it.
Okay, thank you. Example 3. So 15 divided by 5 equals 3. All right, example 4. In the following equation, which number is the divisor, which number is the dividend, and which number is the quotient? Okay, so we're going to write the problem and then we're going to write the word next to it. So Matthias, which one is the divisor?
Seven.
7, very good. So you write divisor down by the 7. Okay, let's see. Brian, which number is the dividend?
Miss, I wasn't raising my hand.
I know, I'm just asking you. Which number is the dividend? This one or this one?
The 8.
The 8. No, the 8 is not the dividend.
56.
56, good. So we write dividend up by the 56. Okay, and that means that the 8 is the what, Guillermo?
The quotient.
Good. All right, that should be under example 4 in your notes. All right, lesson practice A. Show 10 divided by 2 in 3 different forms. So write all 3 forms of 10 divided by 2. This is lesson practice A. Okay, so you know you need one that's inside of the division box, and you know you need one that uses this symbol.
Done.
And you know you need one that has the line. So write it 3 different
Done.
ways. All right. When you're done with A, you can do the
I'm done.
same thing.
Done.
Okay, when you're done with A, do the same thing for B.
Done with A and B.
Good. 24 divided by 6.
Done.
Good. Everyone's going to
Done.
remember to turn in their
Done.
lesson practice and their written practice today.
Done.
Okay, lesson practice C. Use
Let's
words.
do.
Use words to show how each division problem is read. Now remember, we said that each division problem is read the same way. So what I want you to do is put C, D, E, and then just write it the right way, one time. You don't have to write it 3 times. Okay, so put them all together, and then you're just gonna write, how do you read this? Oh, they're all different, but that's okay. Just do it one time. Okay? Make them all this problem.
Miss, can we say dividend? Yeah, that.
Dividend
Dividend by
divided
divisor
by
equals
divisor equals
quotient.
quotient.
Okay, listen, I just want you to do like this. They're all gonna be that top problem, okay? And then just tell me how they're read out loud. How do we read it out loud? You're gonna write it in words. Does that make sense?
All of them? All of them?
You're gonna write it just one time. Because they all are read the same way. That's what I want you to remember. So if you go like this, and all 3 are read how? What do we say, Brian? JJ, what do we say?
$21 divided by 3.
Good. 21 divided by 3. So that's all you need to write for C, D, and E. 21. Remember to use the dash between the 20 and the 1. 21 divided by 3. Okay, that's all you need to write down. Because we read that kind of problem, each one we say the same way.
Miss, is it okay if I put equals 7?
Sure, that's fine. All right. Rewrite each one of these problems, but using a division box. Okay, F, G, and H. You're going to write it the way it is, and then write it with the division box. So you're going to write 63 divided by 7, the way it's written, and then you're going to write the same problem, but using a division box. Then you're going to write
Do we need to put the answer?
46, and then write it with the division box.
Do we need to put the answer?
No, just the way that you write the problem, okay? So for example, you would write this, what you see right here, 63 divided by 7 using the division sign, and then under it or right next to it, you're gonna write the same problem, but you're gonna use your division box. Then on G,
Done. Done.
okay, good.
Then
All right, awesome. We are
Done.
all finished.
I'm not done.
Miss, no, Miss, no.
Okay, hang on, I'll go back up. Sorry.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, we're gonna not have our 2 o'clock Zoom today, okay? So you do not have writing today, but you do need to turn in your writing, your 2 pages, right? Everybody
Miss,
knows?
I did that 10 minutes ago.
Good job.
Like one before the
Okay.
thing.
Lesson practice. Identify the quotient, the dividend, and the divisor, okay? So you need
Didn't
to
we just do
write,
lesson practice?
what?
Didn't we just do lesson
We're
practice?
still doing lesson practice.
Oh.
It's just continuing. So write down the quotient, the dividend, and the divisor in the right spots. So what would the 7 be? Someone tell me, what would the 7 be?
Quotient.
quotient.
Quotient, good. What would the 63 be?
Dividend.
Dividend, good. And what would the 9
Divisor.
Divisor.
divisor, good.
No, es igual que la tuya, ¿por qué no pones la tuya? No, da, no entiendes. Porque no está.
Miss, I didn't finish
Miss, I'm done.
the last one.
Okay, remember when you're doing these problems, you always want to see how many times this smaller number goes into the bigger number. And remember, we talked about the other day how to do that. Does anyone remember? How do we find it if we don't know the answer? Raise your hand if you remember. How can we find Matthias?
We can divide and see like how much it is to correct the
That's
answer.
the division, but what's the way we could figure it out if we don't know how to divide it? Yuna,
Multiplying.
multiplying. Good. What would we multiply in this problem to figure out the answer if we didn't know what 7 was?
9 times.
Yay. We would put a 9 times something equals what?
63.
Good. 63. Whoop. That's a funny looking 6. Sorry about that. All right. 63. Okay, so if we didn't know how many times 9 goes into 63, we could try it with multiplication and try to see if that's an easier thing for us to figure out. Okay, and we would figure out that 9 times 7, because we know our 9's facts, or we know our 7's facts, equals 63. All right, let's move down because we're almost out of time here. Okay, you don't need to write all these down, but what I want you to see here on letter N, it says compare 24 divided by 4 and 24 divided by 6. And then you would put the symbol that is right in here. So in order to do that, you need to solve the problem. So how many times does 4 go into 24, Guillermo?
6.
Good. How many times does 6 go into 24, Fabry?
4.
Good, 4. So now we would see which one is bigger and which one is lesser. Which way was what way do we want to put the big? Which one's greater?
6.
6. Good. So we would draw our symbol this direction. Okay. But in order to do that, we need to solve the problem. Okay. That's what it's asking you to do when it says compare 24 divided by 4 and 24 divided by 6. It's saying figure out the problem and then do your comparison. Okay. We're not going to practice all these other ones because I know you guys know your basic stuff. So you can do that. Okay. Here's your homework. Pages 126 and 127, numbers 1 through 30. 126 through 127, numbers 1 through 30. Make sure that you turn in your notes and your written practice. Some of you are still only turning in one of those things. I don't know why, because we are on the 29th day of school, so you should know because you've done this 20 times already. But you need to turn in your written practice and your lesson practice, your notes, okay? Both things. Someone tell me, how many points is your lesson practice worth?
I think 10.
15 points every day, 15 points. If you don't turn in that lesson practice, you're missing 15 points automatically. How many points is your homework worth? Your written practice. JJ.
30.
30.
Points.
Okay, so if you don't turn in that, that's a huge chunk of a grade. Lots of you are forgetting to turn in both parts. Altogether, that's 45 points that we have for math every day. Your test is only worth about 20 points. So it's more important to turn in these every day than to do amazing on your test, okay? Because 20 points is less than 45 points, okay? So your test is important for me to see what you're understanding, but it's more important that you turn in your math every day the right way. Okay, does that make sense? Your homework is more important than doing your test. Obviously, you want to do all of those things, but you really need to turn in both your lesson practice and your written practice every day. Haziel, real quick.
Hi.
Miss, where's the notes of our test?
Where's what?
Like where we can know how many we got in our test?
I haven't finished grading them yet, but it will be in Moodle, and then it will also be on ESS in the school report because I post it both places when I'm done. Okay, Andreas, do you have a question? Maria, do you have a question? Matthias, do you have a question?